Hello everybody, Cal Banyan here, Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. on calbanyan.com. And oh my gosh, have we got some topics for you. Today in this hypnosis training video, we're going to be talking about the expert use of date-time age regression. That does not get as much publicity as it should. And before I get into this any further, let me introduce you to my co-host, Erica Flint. Let me tell you about Erica Flint. Erica Flint is one of the busiest hypnotists in the profession. She's smart, she's beautiful, she is gone from a mentee to a mentor in the profession. She's spoken for the National Guild of Hypnotists. She is an author of 2 or 3 books now. She also writes for the journal, the National Guild of Hypnotists Journal. How you doing, Erica?
I'm doing great, Cal. Thank you so much. It's fantastic to be here again today with you. And I'm excited about this topic, but before we get into the topic, let me tell everybody about you. Cal Banyan is the authority on hypnosis that works, and he's been in the profession for over 20 years. He's been giving us these great nuggets of information in hypnosis, etc., training, writing books. He's been on television and radio, and he's won nearly every single award from the National Guild of Hypnotists, which is the oldest and largest hypnosis professional organization in the world. He is the trainer of some of the best in the profession. One of his books, The Secret Language of Feelings and Hypnotism, is, these are some of my favorite books. The Secret Language of Feelings I give to nearly every single one of my clients. He is the person that experts in the profession turn to, and he's had such a profound impact, positive impact on my life and my profession. Once I took the 5-path training, my practice just took off, and I've been doing it ever since. So it's wonderful to be here on Hypnosis, etc., talking about this fantastic topic, date-time age regression, and the expert use of it so that you can get fantastic results for your clients. I don't think that it's used as much as it can and should be in sessions, so I really wanted to dive into the details of what is it and how do you use it expertly. So Cal, what do you think of this topic?
I like the topic. I want to make an admission of guilt first. I'm guilty, you're guilty, Celeste is guilty, and all the other co-hosts we've had in this program of probably providing more free hypnosis training in any one place than any other hypnosis training program, paid or free, in the world. What do you think of that?
I think that's true. And I would love to be guilty of that. I think that's something that I would, be happy to say, yeah, you can say I like to give free things away. I love to be of service, and I know you do, Cal. It's a great reward for us to see our grads be successful, and then they get to see their clients be successful, right?
Exactly. I just had to get that out because, now I got it off my chest. I don't feel quite so bad to being so guilty. I mean, sometimes people get angry at us for giving away for so much for free. But, you and I, we believe that what you send out comes back, and that, just give. All right, back to the topic. So, what made you think of this topic?
I had some questions from grads who were asking me, what should I do in this, what should I do when my client comes back and has had a week, like an oops in a week, okay? So an oops would be something like a client is trying to lose weight, and the client comes in and says, they've been doing really well, let's say for the first couple of weeks, and week 3 they come in and they say, oops, my sister came to town, we went to Taco Tuesday for happy hour, I ate too many tacos and I had one too many margaritas. And so I had a grad ask me, what should I do in that situation? So I wanted to address this not just for that particular situation, but also for any time that our clients have an experience where they weren't as successful as they wanted during the week. Daytime age regression is such a powerful tool because we get to help our client re-experience that situation and do it all over again the way that they wanted to do it. So it's really, the rule of recency, right? So it just happened. It just happened the week before or 2 weeks before, and now we get to help them resolve that issue that just happened, so it's going to provide them with really awesome results. So that's what brought it up, Cal. I'm sure that you've seen that happen in your practice too.
Exactly. So now, for all you folks out there, some of you have no understanding of hypnotic age regression, and some of you are doing age regression. Let me talk a little bit about age regression and the different types. Okay, real age regression, hypnotic age regression, is a revivification, a reliving of a past event. In order for it to be a reliving, there has to be some degree of hallucination. So, in other words, they are feeling the feelings of, and they're thinking the thoughts that they thought and felt at that time. They may even be having the taste, the smells, seeing things that were going on. For example, in the diet example, the person had a boo-boo, right? And when we regress them to the time when they're having that problem, they may be able to smell the food, taste the food, identify what they're thinking, what they're feeling, which is all kind of why we do it, right? But so, in order to do true age regression, you need to have a deep level of hypnosis, some degree of somnambulism. In the Harry Arons scale, that'd be 3, 4, and 5. So threshold of somnambulism, full somnambulism, or profound somnambulism. Now, you need to use hypnotic techniques that take people to that level. Please take a look at the 5-path induction. It's on 5pathinduction.com. Just Google it. That induction, short induction that's designed to take someone to that level. Now, quick overview of the types of age regression. There is, as we're talking about, date time, where you regress someone to a specific date, a specific time. And we're going to get into really about why and when, how that's helpful. An example outside of the hypnotherapeutic community is, for example, forensic hypnosis, where they're trying to get information about the scene of a crime or a description of an automobile or something like that. And what they'll do, of course, is they have to regress them to the scene of the crime at a particular date and time. So that's a way. Now, that date time is used when you know where you're going. When you know where you're going. I'm going to a specific date and a specific time. The other more popular ways in modern hypnosis and hypnotherapy is regressing to an unknown time, which is in the world of psychology called uncovering technique. And so you might bring up an emotion and use that emotion to tunnel back or bridge back to an earlier time they felt that way, even the first time they felt that way. That would be affect bridge or affect time tunnel. Now, there's also cognitive, where someone might have a particular way of thinking. I'm not good enough, something wrong with me, people don't like me, whatever it is. And you can use that thought to bridge back to earlier times, even the first time that they started thinking that way, so that you can work on them. Also, there's symptom bridge, which could be like a physical symptom. Like, for example, maybe someone's got a twitch, or they've got headaches, or something like that. And you can take that symptom and bridge back to an earlier time, even the first time they felt that way. But in this episode, we're going to, and guess what? If you haven't already subscribed on calbanyan.com for our newsletter, and we put these out about once a week, and what happens if you subscribe to the newsletter, A, you get a notice every time we put up a new video. B, you get instant access to a page that has a list of all 500 and something videos, and you can just do a look or a Control F search of the page for age regression. We've done many episodes on age regression. All right, let me turn that back over here to Erica and let her kind of outline how we're going.
All right, thank you, Cal. That was a fantastic overview of all of the different types of age regression that we do. So how do you actually do it? There is one trick. I remember when I learned this in training many years ago, it was an aha moment for me. I was like, oh, how fascinating. That's really interesting. And here it is. You want to regress your client to before they ate the food before they ate the too many tacos. Because what we want to do is we want to get, and Cal, I'm going to pass this over to you because I know you'll probably want to dive into a little more detail into the model of the mind and why and what we're doing here. But we want to build the model of the mind for the client and understand what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What's going on in them that makes them want to do something like not eat the tacos and not drink too many margaritas? Why are they doing this when they know they don't want to? So we have to go before they actually did it. So Cal, do you want to talk a little more about the technique and why it works that way?
So yes, I would. As I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about, I really started developing this technique in more detail and using it more frequently with phase 5 of 5-path, which is Parts Mediation Work, which is designed to remove secondary gain. And one of the challenges of secondary gain is even deciding if it exists. And in the world of counseling and psychology, they just try to build a case for, well, maybe there's secondary gain here. What do they lose? And it's kind of iffy. And one day, I figured out that what I could do is I could just regress them to a recent time where they were experiencing the secondary gain. Now, the secondary gain drives a situation where someone has either you've done everything you're supposed to do. You've given all the right stuff. The work is complete, and either the problem comes back or it doesn't completely go away. And if there's secondary gain there, it's because the individual loses someone or something significant if they make this change. And so there's resistance to lose that. And that is called secondary gain. If they hang on to the problem, they gain something. And this gain is not why they started to have the problem in the first place, like in the initial sensitizing event. It's a secondary benefit. All right. So I figured out that what I could do is I could regress them to the last week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks where they started doing this behavior, even though it had either stopped or we had almost completely got it gone, but it wasn't gone. And what I do is I regress them to the event where they're doing the problematic behavior. It might be eating too much, for example, what we're talking about, or it could be smoking, or it could be whatever it is. It's usually a too much behavior, a distracting behavior. Now, I would regress them to that time, and I would find out what they're thinking. And I don't want to go into I could do literally 3 hours, 4 hours on this. But if I find out that they're still nervous, scared, anxious regarding the issue that brought them in, that means not enough age regression has been done. If they're still angry, then not enough forgiveness work has been done. And if they are still feeling guilty, then not enough self-forgiveness work has been done. And that's our check. Boom, boom. If they're still thinking and feeling what they were thinking and feeling when they came in and it hasn't been worked on, that's all primary gain stuff. Then I will go back and do that. But if now, when I regress them to this time where they're having the problem again, and I say, what are you thinking? And if they start to think, well, what am I going to do now? Now that I don't smoke, or now that I don't drink, or now that I don't eat too much, how am I going to handle daily stressors, or how am I going to be social, and this kind of stuff, then what that indicates is, okay, the problem is now gone, the old problem, but it's created a set of new challenges. And there's a propensity to try to fix these new challenges with the old solution. And what I'll do is I'll take them through a mediation process that allows them to work that out. That's a whole different video. But by going back to when it happened and then just before it happened, it lets us know what they're thinking and what they're feeling. Okay. Now, without going into, I went into more detail a little bit farther than where Erica was expecting me to go. But let's say that you're just right. You are not done with the work with them, and you've done your age regression work, and they're doing well, and they thought, I'm doing so good, I'm doing so beautiful. But you're only like session 2 with them out of like 5 pathways. Typically, we'll do 5, 6, 7 sessions. It just depends on the issue and the person. And you're not expecting them to be totally over it yet, but an event happened last week, and you can do, instead of going, bring up that feeling, follow it back like a time tunnel, then what you can do is you can just directly regress them to that event. And what this is so huge, because when you regress them to that time last week and you find out what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what's happening, then there's so much good stuff right there. One, if they're still thinking and feeling what you've been working on, then, and it's fear-based, continue with the age regression. Maybe you didn't do as thorough of an age regression as you thought. Or they may be thinking and feeling something else that they've been managing with food or alcohol or smoking. And it will begin a whole new timeline for a whole new regression. And the way you do that is by taking them to the event, a date time, and say, at a moment count, they're in somnambulism, a moment count from 5 back to 1. When I get to 1, you're going to be at that time where you grabbed that half-pound bag of M&Ms and you dove in and didn't come out until they were gone, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, be there. Now I'm going to count from 3 back to 1 and go just a few minutes before that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And or you could just go directly to just before they dove into that bag of M&Ms. How am I doing, Erica? Am I covering the stuff you wanted?
Yeah, absolutely. It's perfect. And the thing that I really love, and you did cover it more comprehensively than I had originally thought, but it's better, of course, this way. I love being comprehensive and covering everything. One thing I want to point out is how much relief it gives our clients, because they are fixing something, because we haven't gotten to the part yet where we talk about, well, what do you do about it, right? We probably don't have time to dive into the informed child technique again and how we fix that. That's in a previous episode, by the way. But the client does get to do that experience all over again, where then they're making a better choice. And this brings them such relief, because guess what? The next week there's going to be a bag of M&Ms, or the next week, maybe it's not their sister, but it's their cousin, or it's a high school reunion, or it's a barbecue at the neighbor's house. And so now they get to take all of the insights that they learned from this process as something that just happened last week, and they get to apply it to their life right then and there. So they leave the session feeling such relief with going over something that recently happened. So that's one of the reasons why I love this date time age regression so much. What do you think about that part of it, Cal?
Exactly right. And one of the most valuable things, like Erica's talking about, is it is a recent time. It's not like you're overcoming an issue when they were 12 or 5. Yeah, we will do that. But in a recent session, in this most recent session, you go over a time when it was challenging recently, and it all just it just is so powerful. It's so relevant. Is really, I think, a word that's useful there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, going into the past, going to some of those earlier experiences is absolutely necessary if it comes up for our client, because that has been something that's been bothering them their whole life, even though it might have gone into subconscious, right? That's why the value of hypnosis, we get to tap into subconscious and bring to the conscious understanding these things that have been bothering them for a long time. But now we get the real life, where the rubber meets the road, and it's happening to you even now, just last week. Let's see how you could do it in a different way to be successful and feel good, so that the next time your sister comes into town, or the next time there's an opportunity to eat those M&Ms, you do it in a different way and you feel successful, you feel happy, and you're getting the results that you came in here for, right?
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, that's all I had for this, Cal, unless you want to add anything else.
Yeah, I want to throw some stuff in. You wouldn't take off and start a new career or change your career based on an article in a magazine. And these videos are kind of like the equivalent to video articles. You should not be doing hypnotic age regression work unless you are properly trained. I mean, really been through a course, you know, where you've got a significant number of hours, had supervised practice time and stuff like that. What we're hoping to do is, if you're already at that level, that we're giving you some tips, tricks, and techniques that can change how you do it. Or to say, you know, gosh, this age regression stuff is awesome. I'm going to go get the certification training. And that's why I've been asked to, again, do our 3-day age regression certification course at the National Guild of Hypnotists convention coming up in August. It's going to be August 16, 17, and 18. And so I'll be doing a couple of 1-hour talks, 2-hour talks, and then 3 solid days of first how to get somnambulism every time, and then also the age regression work. You're going to be doing some stuff at the NGH convention as well, right?
Right, Cal. I'm doing Amplify Your Personal Power with Hypnosis. I'm doing Teach a Stress Buster workshop in your area to grow your business. And I'm also teaching a 2-hour Reprogram Your Weight and a 1-day post-convention Reprogram Your Weight. So anybody who wants to work with clients and help them lose weight, or if you've been nervous about doing that because it seems complex, this system works really, really well. And there's other hypnotists using it as well. So that's one of the classes that I'm teaching there, a 1-day post-convention.
Beautiful. And a shout out to you 5-pathers. You got to come. Everybody should be there in the profession. But 5-pathers got a special bonus for you on Thursday night. We have our 5-pathers get together. They let us take over the entire restaurant and so fill it up with 5-pathers. And we talk about what's going on, give out awards and recognitions. And then this year will be the very first Fandango. The very first 5-pathers Fandango. On the last hour of the last day of the convention, we're getting together. I'm putting together some topic ideas right now for what I'm going to cover, some real insider tips, tricks, and techniques in the world of hypnosis. And then we're going to have food, fun, and so on. And then we'll proceed to the National Guild of Hypnotists after party. And not that they have an after party, but we're going to make an after party, because community is a really big part of what we do, and 5-pathers are some of the best at doing that. All right, wrap it up. Anything else you want to say? You got a course coming up?
I do have a course coming up, and I want to mention how awesome the 5-path community is, and it does feel really good to not be the lone hypnotist and have colleagues and have those connections. The 5-pather dinner and this new Fandango is going to be a lot of fun, so I hope to see you guys there. I do have a course coming up July 15th through the 26th, and another one in October 21st through November 1st, and I would love to see you there. Thanks everyone for watching.
Awesome. I also have one in July and I have one in October. It's the NGH approved NGH certification course. It's the same one that Eric will be teaching, except this will be in Texas, hers up in Bellingham. All right, Cal Banyan signing off.